Courgettes are a garden classic, best enjoyed fresh from the garden, as their taste cannot be replicated by the shop-bought ones. However, during midsummer, it's not uncommon to find yourself with an excess of courgettes. In home gardens, plant them in moderation, as a single plant can produce a bountiful harvest throughout the summer. One sowing is usually sufficient, as courgettes grow well outdoors until September. Greenhouse cultivation is an option if you wish to harvest a month earlier, but ensure there are enough openings for insect pollination. Although courgettes are typically sown once a year, repeat sowings are possible. For simultaneous cultivation in greenhouses and outdoors, opt for 2 consecutive sowing phases. In this course, we'll focus on the more common outdoor sowing method. Sowing courgettes directly into the garden bed is possible, but growing from seedlings is a more practical approach. This allows you to transplant seedlings to specific empty spots where seeds may have failed to germinate. Grow courgette seedlings in a greenhouse or an external protective area used for hardening off other seedlings with ample of natural light. Time the growth of courgette seedlings to coincide with hardening off tomato, pepper, chili, and eggplant seedlings. Seedlings should be grown in an environment with temperatures between 18 and 22 degrees Celsius. They can tolerate night temperature as low as 4 degrees Celsius, but if temperatures drop further, move them to a warmer location or provide additional heat overnight. For greenhouse cultivation, aimed at achieving an earlier crop, sow and transplant the seedlings 20 days earlier, which may require growing them indoors in heated space from early April. We are now at the end of April, and we will sow seeds 2 centimeters deep in an individual medium-sized planting unit with a moist substrate. Courgettes are not pricked out. If grown in medium-sized plastic containers, fill them only halfway with substrate when sowing. As the seedling grows, gradually add more substrate until the container is full. This procedure can help stabilize long-stem courgette seedlings. Since they germinate well in the dark, cover the planting units, which also helps to maintain uniform humidity. Once the first sprout appears, potentially within 3 days already, uncover the container and move it to a brighter, sunny location. When the first leaves develop, usually within 7 to 10 days after sowing, transplant the seedlings into a larger planting unit. If our plants have grown too tall, plant them deeper, up to the first leaves. Courgettes grow rapidly, so seeds can be sown also directly into the larger planting unit, bypassing the medium-sized one. Water the seedlings regularly every other day, like all others that are grown at the same time. Courgette seedlings are ready for transplanting within 20 days after sowing, or when they have at least 1 true leaf. Ours are slightly larger since 30 days have already passed from the sowing. Ideally, transplant them outdoors in mid-May. If the soil hasn't been prepared with compost mulch, add compost to the planting holes, as courgettes grow best in loose soil with high proportion of organic material. Space the plants 1 meter apart, as they spread considerably during growth. A single courgette, due to its characteristic shrubby growth, requires 1 square meter of space. I will transplant them 75 centimeters apart, and in July remove 1 plant when the full fruiting begins. I love the first crops, but I can quickly get overwhelmed by the amount of courgettes in the summer season. Since the soil is already warm in mid-May when transplanting seedlings, consider using summer mulching. As courgettes have a long growing season and it's challenging to remove weeds among their large leaves, it makes sense to use a flat surface mulch, such as cardboard or sheep wool fleece. This mulch stays on the bed for the entire growing season, eliminating concerns about weed removal. Prepare holes in cardboard or sheep wool where the seedlings will grow. If the soil is dry, water the entire bed, paying special attention to the planting hole before transplanting the courgette seedlings. Avoid planting seedlings too deep in traditional soil because it will harden in the surface and can damage the plant stem. When using compost, there is no such issues. After transplanting the seedlings outdoors, water them daily until they are well rooted. Courgettes require consistently moist soil. Remove any weeds sprouting between the large leaves by hand. If you've used cardboard or sheep fleece as mulch, no additional summer mulch is needed. But after more than 14 days of dry weather, water the plant. Since courgette roots can extend more than 3 meters from the stem, watering the beds as well as garden pests positively affects their growth. During the growing season in July, remove older leaves along with their stem to rejuvenate the plant. On long stalks, it forms male flowers, while female flowers that produce individual fruits form close to the main stem. With each new leaf, the courgette produces a new female flower. As growth during the summer months is extremely rapid, the fruit can grow more than 5 centimeters each day. By harvesting and consuming female courgette flowers, we can regulate the speed and quantity of the crop. Male flowers are also edible. Courgettes grow quickly and you can soon have too many. We plant 3 plants on a 2 square meter surface as we are looking forward for the early initial crops as with all other vegetables. But come July, we remove the middle plant as there are progressively more and more crops. This way, each plant has its own square meter for growth. We find that 1 or maximum 2 plants are enough for our summer needs, from which we continue to harvest fresh fruits. Courgettes grow best on their own bed, so they don't shade other plants. And before allocating space on the bed for courgettes, you can grow spinach, spring lettuce, and radishes in the same place. After harvesting courgettes, sow lamb's lettuce, spinach, or transplant late chicory or endive seedlings. The most common issue is the powdery mildew, which attacks and whitens courgette leaves. This is usually a temporary condition that depends on the weather. A hot and humid environment promotes the development of this disease. Mild forms of powdery mildew disappear when the weather improves. Only rarely is powdery mildew destructive to the plant. Regularly harvesting courgettes encourages the formation of new ones, so collect young courgettes up to 20 centimeters in size. The aim is to harvest smaller, tender fruits, physiologically immature, instead of letting them grow into gigantic courgettes that would make the neighbors green with envy. When cultivating shrub courgettes, our goal is to prioritize quality over size, focusing on delicate produce. Use scissors, a knife, or just twist and tear them off by hand for harvesting. From our experience, regular harvesting on fruit or flower days stimulates the plant to bloom more strongly and form additional fruits. Courgettes harvested this way will remain fresh longer. The crop is available until September, so a second sowing isn't necessary, especially if you also grow pumpkins, which begin to produce a harvest from August onwards. For courgette fans, repeat sowing and transplant them to a bed at the end of July to have a harvest even in late autumn until the first frost. Unharvested fruits can grow up to 50 centimeters or more in length and weigh several kilograms, beginning to physiologically ripen and exhausting the plant. Courgettes can be eaten raw or as well cooked or baked. Their flowers, both male and female, are also edible, suitable for stuffing with various fillings, either with vegetables or cheeses, and for baking. Courgettes are a seasonal vegetable best used fresh. Once picked, they last about a week stored in a cool place. Some varieties of ripe courgettes can be stored in a cellar. For longer storage, cut them into pieces and freeze or pickle them. Thank you for joining us on this journey of growing courgettes. Don't miss out our other courses where we delve into wonders of different plants. Keep growing and let's keep becoming gardeners together.